Welcome to episode 6 of the Finding Magic Insight series. I'm Vincent, your host, and today we're going to talk about a really big question. So big that a part of me says, who am I to talk about this? And this question is, what's the purpose of life? So I'm going to start by discussing what it isn't. In my early journey, I studied the work of Jose Silva, who came up with the Silva method of mind control, of creating your life from your visualizations. And he used to say that, most of humanity thinks they're here for a 70-year coffee break, but that's not what life's about. And there is that sense that a lot of us have, that it is a little bit more than that. It's a bit more than, spending your life on your couch binge watching Netflix, or heading out to the golf course and playing golf at every available opportunity. And I've worked in an office where people would do that at the weekend. They come in on Monday morning so grumpy. It was it was quite interesting to observe. So if that's what it isn't, what might be the purpose of life here? I was brought up in a Catholic school, and we learned that our purpose was to know, love and serve God in this world and be happy with him forever in the next. And it's kind of a start, but it's missing something. And you can put the dogma to one side. The idea at least of being loving, serving people, I think resonates with most of us, if not all of us. But if the purpose of life is more than that, what else might it be about? And the guy that has expressed this best for me is John DeMartini, who talks a lot about growth and our constant inner desire for growth. And with growth is bound up greater power as you grow and greater love as you grow. So it's all bundled up in there. Well, growth will improve us in a few ways. It'll give us some greater capabilities as we learn more skills and we're able to take on greater and greater challenges, and therefore create better and better end results. Growth will also increase our capacity, how much we can handle, how much we can take on. As we grow, we're able to do things faster. We're able to enroll people to help us in what we're creating. And growth will lead us to a greater sense of inner power, a greater sense of significance. That shows up as a greater sense of confidence. And so with this additional confidence, we're also able to improve our relationships and serve better. So let's dig into how growth works towards our purpose. Let's take a typical fear, very 20th century. The number one fear is public speaking. They used to say that until we had mobile phones, and now it's about the mobile phone battery going flat with no way of recharging it. But in the old world of public speaking, you would learn to speak in publicly, that's a skill. And that expands your capability, but it also expands your confidence. And I know this, I did the Toastmasters training, and I remember shivering on stage the first time I had to do a public piece of public speaking. And by the end, you get into a groove, the fear melts away, the shivers melt away, and you can do this very easily anytime. And so growing helps us towards the best version of ourselves, the highest potential version of ourselves. Another aspect of growth is dealing with change. And, change is inevitable. The way of nature is change. We cycle through the seasons, whether it's the conventional 4 seasons or perhaps the 6 seasons that the Australian First Nations people acknowledge in certain parts of the country. In the tropics, there's the rainy season, there's hot seasons, cooler seasons, and so on. But nature's always changing. And with nature comes the cycle of growth and fruiting and then rest over the winter and rebirth. And the same happens with technology. Technology is always changing. Today you're probably listening to this via broadband, but there would have been a time where the only way to get on the internet was to dial up at 56k if you were lucky. And so technology gives us opportunities for growth, but some people will look at the technology, they'll look at AI and they'll say, oh no, that's far too hard. And that's one of the ways we react to it. We can go into denial. I'm not going to engage with this new technology. For me, I barely know how to work one of these smart TVs because they do take a lot of time. So we can resist. We have a lower consciousness and ego that wants to stay safe, wants to stay in its comfort zone, wants to avoid expending effort to change things, to learn new skills, avoids growth. But our higher consciousness, our superconsciousness, it embraces change and it sees opportunities there. Our higher consciousness wants us to develop skills. It wants us to express our creativity. It wants us to find and explore new relationships. And it wants us to share the outcomes with our communities and with the world. And what our higher consciousness can give us is goals that are aligned with our purpose and which lead us to change and grow. So if we say the purpose of life is growth and growth in love, that's quite generic. And so we will each have an individual expression of that. It may come through as a form of creativity, through artwork, through music, through building, whatever. It may be a form of service. We may volunteer our time. We may help a particular charity. We may create a charity. And it may be a form of beingness, how we show up. And there is a way to find our individual path from higher consciousness. It's about learning intuition. It's about getting a vision from that intuitive, that higher conscious space. And we can do that. And when we have a vision, the vision's nice, but there are end results in that vision that are then being called by our higher consciousness to create. And so we form those end results into choices across all areas of life, because as one choice progresses and we grow, so our other choices in our other areas of life become easier, and we can create those end results as well. Now, if you're interested in finding your individual path to growth, to purpose, I'll be co-facilitating a training along with Tess and Leah, my collaborators in the Academy of Intuitive Mastery. And that training will guide you to create your heart vision through learning intuition, and it will guide you to create choices, to create what you see in that vision. It also includes training in structured intuition, the basic skills that you'll need to create the heart vision. And you can find the details on my website, vincentgmelling.com/events. And I'll put that link in the podcast description as well. So just to wrap up and summarize, My view is that our generic purpose is, as John D. Martinez expressed it, to grow and to grow in love. And as individuals, we do that by engaging our higher consciousness, by creating a vision from that place, creating choices and outcomes, and then going ahead and actually physically creating what's in those choices, those goals. And it can be in areas that are creative, it can be in our relationships, our beingness, our service to the world community, and what we might need to support all that. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. I hope to connect with you down the track, whether it's in a training, whether it's through meeting you one way or another, or whether it's just on social media, somewhere like that, messaging. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening and night.